Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dobry wieczór Państwu. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome you to the ceremony of the 18th edition of the European Union Prize for Literature. The prize was established in 2009 by the European and International Booksellers Federation and the Federation for European Publishers. The prize aims at recognizing and celebrating emerging literary voices from across the continent. The winner will receive 10,000 euros and financial contribution to 2 translation projects. In addition, there are 2 special mentions. Each will receive 5,000 euros and 1 financial contribution towards a translation project. In addition, all of the shortlisted books will receive a financial contribution towards a single translation project, and all of the shortlisted books and their authors will be promoted across Europe on international book fairs. In addition, in September of this year, an anthology of the texts from the shortlisted novels will be published. But tonight we will find out who will receive the main prize and the 2 special mentions. But before that, we will get to meet every single one of the writers shortlisted today, and we will hear fragments of their prose. The texts will be read in original languages, and the translation will be translation into English will be displayed here on the screen, so all of us can read it. But before that happens, we need to formally open up today's ceremony. The script and the idea behind today's evening is simple. We'll have some speeches from the very important figures of European cultural life, and we will hear some literature from very important figures of European literature. And the ratio, I think, is proper. There will be 4 speeches and 14 literary bits. So I think this is reasonable. And let's begin with the first speech of tonight's ceremony. I would like to invite on stage Deputy General of DG of Education, Youth, Sport and Culture, Mr. Normund Poppins.
Good evening, everybody. I'm not a general yet. I might join the army when I retire. I'm a deputy director general. Anyway, thank you. Thanks for this presentation. And I'm so happy to come to Warsaw. I already did once the prize opening ceremony in Brussels, but actually this event takes place since 2009. And every time it's linked to a book fair in another European country. And I'm happy that today is in Poland. I mean, the museum is also part of culture, hemisphere, art, but of course, here we are celebrating today literature. I think when we talk about Europe, we talk about diversity, and we say that the EU's strength is in diversity, right? But that means, but not necessarily diversity is a good thing, because people don't understand each other, they cannot cooperate so well. So for me, this diversity and strength of it comes together with cooperation, with respect and cooperation. And when I was asked, when we had celebrated 10 years of Latvia joining EU, they asked me, I didn't tell you that story, did they? They asked me, sorry, getting old. So they asked me for the interview, for the pitch, what is the most gain for Latvia when it joined the EU? And everybody was thinking, I will say cohesion policy, like for, Poland. And I was working with cohesion policy. And I said, no, it's values. It's adherence to these values society, because for small countries, I think being part of this very strong union with very strong values, respect for each other, respect for diversity, for who you are, is very, very important. And no economic benefit will ever overcome it in my mind. And I think literature and different literature, I mean culture in general, but literature in particularly contributes to these values. It contributes to us understanding each other, to us recognizing that there are different stories, to us also dreaming, because literature also gives you very interesting stories to think about. And I think as human beings, we need to read. We discuss now what is the future of literature, and of course, everybody said, there are big platforms selling books which are not really books. And I think there are risks, because with artificial intelligence coming in, it's a lot of opportunities, but it is also a lot of risks. So what we are trying to do, of course, I'm very happy today to say that for the first time, European Union actually has a framework policy for culture. It's called Culture Compass. I hope you noticed there's 2 sentences about literature, I believe, but I think it sets the tone because it's the first time that we have anything like this, and we are still planning, by the way, very soon to have a joint declaration with European Parliament and Council to endorse this document. I think it's important because in these times, it's defense, it's competitiveness, AI, digital. And people start to forget that actually culture is part of our DNA, and culture is actually can be part of competitiveness, even defense and everything. So we need to support culture, but without having such a frame, it's quite difficult. So yes, we want to also have council and parliament on the board, and there are 20 deliverables under this cultural compass, and we will try to put all of them in place, but we will need your help because it's not the commission thing. It's actually something we've done in consultation with stakeholders, and we want to make sure that what we create, also through those particular very concrete deliverables, makes sense. Which brings me to another very important thing. I'm also in charge of MFF. We are working on Agora, on Erasmus+, on some other Horizon instruments. And of course, Agora EU, you know, that's a Creative Europe. No, it's first strand of Agora EU will be Culture Creative Europe. We found beautiful things. By the way, last year I had to go to regular scrutiny board, and I was quite worried because you have to show impacts. And I was thinking, what impacts do we have from Creative Europe? Do giving these prizes really have impact on the book market in Europe? Probably not. And then I explained to them that actually maybe there is no huge impact on selling books or something like that, but this program is life changer. Because whenever you talk to people who participated, benefited, and we have 6 prizes now, we have Culture Moves Europe, we have other flagships. When I talk to people who participated in this program, they say, it changed my life. It changed my life as an artist, as a writer. It gave me more opportunities. And I would say, let's stick to that. Let's call this program a life-changing program. And maybe we will not achieve huge impacts on the book market in Europe. Also, I hope that we might. But at least when we give a chance to new writers to be awarded and to get translated, because we also work with them and we offer them translations. So I think it makes sense to continue with all of it. We also want to improve the future programs. We were just discussing here, and I discussed with many sectors in the culture. We need to find, funding networks is great, but we need to find projects which address the gaps, which find solutions for problems that are in a sector. And so I encourage you to also think about projects together with schools, projects with local authorities, maybe some other gaps that exist in the field. So don't be shy, write to us, because we will be designing this new program, and together with member states, of course. And there, I think we need to show that this program also creates some impact, which is longer term, which stays. It's not just one-off beautiful thing, but that actually creates something useful for a long time. I want to thank the Polish Minister, Poland, for hosting, and the museum for hosting it. I want to thank the 2 federations, booksellers, book publishers. I want to thank the jury, who did great work, and of course, thanks to all the authors. I think I stop here because it's about literature, so let's hear from the authors and from the minister. Thank you.
I think these were very important words, even if prices like ours does not change European book market, it for sure changes people, and not only authors. It also changes our us readers, and prices like that do really make an impact and do make a change on a very personal, human level. Time for another speech before we move on to literature, and the Ministry of Culture and Heritage of the Republic of Poland is with us. Marta Cienkowska, will you please join us on stage?
Hello, everyone. First of all, so sorry for being late. I hate being late.
No one noticed.
But I came directly from Łódź, and it was a difficult road. But anyway, I really want to be here today to just say hello in Warsaw. Welcome. Yes, welcome for this special celebration of literature here. Tonight we gather not only to honor literary talent, but also to celebrate something that lies at the very heart of European community: the power of stories. In a world shaped by rapid technological change, constant streams of information, social media world, and increasingly fragmented communication, literature remains one of the most profound spaces of reflection, imagination, and just simple understanding. Through books, we encounter perspectives different from our own, develop empathy, and deepen our appreciation of the complexity of human experience. The strength of European literature has always been its extraordinary diversity. It reflects a multitude of languages, histories, tradition, and sensibilities, while at the same time revealing the values of emotions that connects us across borders. This evening, we will have the privilege of experiencing this richness through the voices of outstanding authors. Those works offer unique insights into contemporary life and the human condition. The European Union Prize for Literature plays a vital role in supporting these voices. Through recognition, visibility, and opportunities for translation, the prize helps literary works travel beyond national boundaries, allowing stories born in a language and culture to resonate with readers across Europe and beyond. Supported by the European Union Creative Europe program, the prize demonstrates a shared commitment to cultural exchange, artistic excellence, and literary freedom. And this is particularly meaningful that this year's ceremony takes place in Poland during the Warsaw International Book Fair, one of the largest and most important literary events in our country. Every year, the fair brings together authors, publishers, translators, booksellers, and readers, creating a vibrant space of dialogue, discovery, and inspiration. And it is a fitting setting for celebrating literature's unique ability to connect people and to connect communities. National literatures preserve the memories, our dreams, and experiences of societies. They help us understanding who we are, where we come from, and how we imagine our future. Yet, great literature does something more. It transcends borders and reminds us that despite of our differences, many of our hopes, fears, and aspirations are just shared. And this evening, 14 exceptional authors will present works that capture the realities of our time and the inner lives of individuals navigating a changing world. And I am certain that their words will offer us not only intellectual stimulation, but also a genuine fear for the soul and a feast for the soul. So allow me to extend my warmest congratulations to all the authors honored today. Your creativity, but also your courage and dedication contribute not only to the vitality of literature, but also to the strengthening of the European community built on a dialogue, understanding, and cultural exchange. Thank you for sharing your imagination, your insights, and your stories with us. And once again, welcome to Warsaw, to this beautiful building, and I hope you're gonna enjoy not only this evening, but also the rest of the weekend here. Thank you.
These are the book covers and pictures of authors that we are about to meet. 14 books shortlisted this year to European Union Prize for Literature. But I have a feeling that this evening is a beginning of something, beginning of a process. Marta Cienkowska just mentioned that literature connects across borders. There are some publishers here in the house, there are some translators here in the house. Let's do some connecting. The idea is that these books should be crossing borders and should be translated and published throughout European Union and more, possibly. All right, let's begin meeting the authors and the books shortlisted. We begin with Sargis Hovsepian from Armenia. Please join us on stage. You die today, I die tomorrow moves between personal memory and collective history. What challenges come with writing fiction that is so closely connected to both those things?
Good evening. The main challenge was to show that the past and the present are as connected as grandfather and granddaughter. I speak English very bad, excuse me.
Good. Will you be so kind as to read a fragment of your book?
Yes, of course.
Perfect.
Կիրիլի հայտնվելուց հետո Ֆրիդայի չափած ձևած կյանքը վերածվեց քաոսի։ Օրական 10 անգամ անակնկալի էր գալիս, մեկ անսպասելի խոհանոցում օտար մարդու հետ դեմ դիմաց դուրս գալով, մեկ զուգարանի կամ բաղնիքի դուռը ամենաանարմար պահին փակ գտնելով, մեկ խոհանոցի սեղանին ինչ-որ կասկածելի պարունակությամբ ֆասթ-ֆուդի տուփեր հայտնաբերելով, որ Կիրիլն էր իբր իր անտեղի ներկայությունն ինչ-որ կերպ փոխհատուցելու համար, Աստված գիտի թե որտեղից բերում։ Էլ պիցաներ, էլ սառած շաուրմաներ ու քյաբաբներ, էլ չիփսեր ու տարաբնույթ սնիկերս բաունցիներ, որ Ֆրիդան հատկապես ատում էր, քանի որ քաղցրի հանդեպ թուլություն ուներ ու արդեն 5 տարի ինչ մենակ էր ապրում, երբեք տանը չէր պահում։ Ֆրիդայի փոքրիկ բնակարանը վերածվել էր ատրակցիոնի, որտեղ ամեն քայլափոխի ինչ-որ վտանգ կամ գայթակղություն էր սպասում։
Thank you so much. This was a fragment of You Die Today, I Die Tomorrow in its Armenian original. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And now Laura Thomas from Croatia. Paper of Your Skin, on one hand, engages with women's travel writing, alongside themes of memory and trauma. What interested you in bringing those two elements together?
If you look at that, the first female travelers from antiquity, Io and Europe, were basically traveling because they were fleeing Zeus. And after that, we have female travelers who inherited the genre in a way from men, because they came to it a bit later. And they were mainly botanists and butterfly collectors and all sorts of adventurers. So they were kind of working in the same inherited gaze. They were looking at landscapes, they were classifying, they were colonizing, etc. But still they are our first female epic heroines. I mean, I like to think of them as such. So they would be most comparable to Odysseus, let's say, in that sense. But they also differed because they were also both the heroines and the bards of their own travels, which Odysseus didn't have to do. So as I was, going deep into those texts, which were very taxonomic in nature, I was looking at if I could find something beneath the conventional closed format that would actually reveal their inner struggles, conflicts, something that basically they can't have out there in print, but they've coded in the text, and I did find it aplenty. And along with some autofictional elements, in the end, it all kind of merged into one uniform text, which inevitably, if we look at our first female travelers, ended in domestic trauma, violence, memory, etc. But I'm always quoting Maya Deren in that sense, when she said that in our day and age, geographic travel is not more a thing. The Odyssey is inward, and we are basically, practicing this kind of an inverted Odyssey, being the last terra incognita is ourselves.
Right on. Let's hear a part of this inverted Odyssey.
Thank you. Neću se sjećati ovih dana gotovo ničega. Biće uvezani u papirni hrbat bunila kao ova moja pisma tebi, nesposobni da se otisnu, da ikamo stignu. Biću zatočena u njima čak i kad me ispljunu s druge strane, amorfnu, raskašenu do kostiju. Sjećat ću se samo kupaonskih pločica na dodir, ledenih pod dlanovima i stopalima i nesnosne vreline koja mi se uselila pod kožu. Tijela koja mi se preljeva preko granica kože kao da sam napokon dosegla svoja tališta. I tog bijesa koji me uvijek obuzima kad pomislim na tebe, kako te uvijek krivim za sve te smrti, iako sam od tebe naučila da su mrtvi elementi ono što unosi sklad u aranžman, cjelovitost. Mrtve grančice i lišće, naplavljeno drvo. Uvijek si to naglašavala, bez obzira na to što si im znala produžiti život i do 3 puta, cvijeću, kovrčama, odnosima.
Now, Evridiki Periklous Papadopoulou from Cyprus. Sorely Grieved, Helen of Carpassia. It's a title of a book that is based on a actual person, Eleni Foka, a historical figure from Cyprus. How does it portray the notions of freedom and justice?
I say a few words.
Okay.
My book appropriates freedom and justice as deeply lived human experiences. It explores what it means to preserve one's dignity and humanity under condition of cultural erasure. At the same time, the novel raises broad questions about justice. It portrays the consequences of partition, the restrictions imposed on education, and the violence that continue to unfold of European soil on these days. Sorry for the...
Perfect. Can we hear the...
Yet it also, yes, I mean,
Sure.
the theme is very emotional. That's why always I have this. Yet it also insists on historical memory and moral accountability, let's say. Okay.
Thank you so much. Can we hear the...
Thank you.
Can we hear the fragment of the original?
Yes, thank you. Η Ελένη προχώρησε αγέροχα προς το σειρματόμπλεγμα. Ακόμη διεκδικούσε να περάσει απέναντι. Την ακολούθησαν κοπάδι νεκρών, σκιές σκοτωμένων, σε μια θανατερή πορεία που ζητούσαν αίτιους και ευθύνες. Πέρασαν και οι εγκλωβισμένοι ακρίτες το σειρματόμπλεγμα και τράβηξαν λεβέντικα και υπομονετικά για τη σκλαβιά τους. Πήγαν και οι μαθητές που μονομάχησαν με τη ζωή τους την ίδια και τη δάμασαν και τη νίκησαν. Κράταγαν τώρα εκείνοι αγκαλιά παιδιά, τα δικά τους παιδιά, σφιχτά στην αγκαλιά τους. Μη και τολμήσει ποτέ εχθρός για δαίμονας να τους χωρίσει. Μήτε εχθρός, μήτε δαίμονας. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And now Lili Luke from Estonia. Whoops, what happened? Sorry. Dora Kapralova from Czech Republic. Sorry about that. Maribor hypnosis uses a perspective of a housefly. And as its narrator. And the question is, what drew you to such unconventional point of view, or in other words, what's so special about houseflies?
So, firstly, thank you very much for invitation. For me, it's not unconventional point of view, I have to admit. I really don't know why I wrote about housefly. Probably I wanted to make advocacy for housefly. Probably it happened because my mother was always killing housefly, and somehow housefly is connected with the nets of digital parasites. So I wanted to write about fake news and about dictators, and of course also about love.
Right on. Can we hear?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Myslím si, že celý svět leží pod hypnózou jako pod těžkou duchnou z kachního peří už nějaký ten pátek. Mrak hypnózy nás vláčí jako otroky neomylných pravd ze severu na jih, ze západu na východ a naopak, z umělé inteligence ke klimatické krizi, od autokracií a diktatur k buddhistickým meditacím a start-upovým firmám. Ze strachu a samaritánského komplexu otvíráme nejbizarnější zákoutí ezoterických věrouk a bojujeme, ačkoliv rukama tápeme ve tmě. Ne tak moucha domácí. Ta se modlí párem 6 nožiček, jen tak mimochodně bez ideologie spásy, během nasávání. Létá si s blanitými křídly pokojně a vlídně a důvěřuje svému osudu, který naplňuje, aniž by o jeho smyslu jakkoliv pochybovala. Thank you very much.
Bravo. And now I better look at the screen and not my notes. Lili Luk from Estonia. Night Mother uncovers family secrets across generations. And the question is, what drew you to the idea of a buried memory?
Good evening. It's great to be here. I think we all owe something to our previous generations, and they passed on us not only their buried memories or buried secrets or traumas, but also their talents, courage, love. After World War II, Estonian villages were almost empty of men. They were either killed in the war or deported to Siberia or imprisoned in gulag camps or hid from the Soviet regime in the forest, trying to fight against the terror of Soviets. But I wanted to know, what about women? What happened to women? And women were those who had to keep on living, kept on life going, grow up children, and they were forced to make some very hard choices, impossible choices, I would say. And the book is about those women, mothers, and their choices. This book is also dedicated to all those women and mothers who still today have to fight for the future of their children in today's world. And we all are here thanks to our mothers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alati on kõik alles ees. Kes nii ütles? Jaa, rabas on küllaga elu ja rabas on surm. Soo teises servas, teises vallas, aga mitte teises maakonnas, kuhu kaugele see kõik ka veel laialt ulatub. Tükeldab maakotkas päeva esimest saaki, keerutab pead ja kuulatab, kõveral noka laurab veri, avab tugevad tiivad, sirutab need õhus välja, tõuseb ainult selleks korraks päris kõrgele rabasoo ja metsakohale, et vaadata kahte inimest kõndimas mööda pennert, kahte tillukest liikuvat täpikest lagedal väljal. Taas laskudes mõõdab lind iseenda suurust, oma tiibade laiust lauka siledast peeglist, tema lennukaare joon jääb kõndijaile märkamatuks ja peagi surub ta küüned ümber pesapuu, kõva oksa ühel lageraba kõvemal kohal, kõrgendikul, kuningana oma saarel. Thank you.
Thank you. As I mentioned before, the literary fragments will be mixed with speeches from very important figures of European cultural life, and the time has come for a third one. Federation of European Publishers is represented today by its president, Ms. Sonia Draga. Please join us on stage.
Thank you very much. Dear Minister of Culture and National Heritage, dear Mr. Deputy Director General, ladies and gentlemen, friends of European literature, what a joy it is to welcome you to my country to celebrate the 2026 EUPL edition at the occasion of the major book fair, the Warsaw Book Fair. And I have the occasion to thank the book fair organization for the invitation to come to Warsaw and for supporting the organization of this event. Thank you, and I send these thanks to the director of the Warsaw Book Fair, Jacek Orel. And it is my personal pleasure and honor to host you in my country for this event. What a delight it is to discover authors from all corners of our continent, new voices that I hope will be translated into many languages. What a pleasure it is to meet colleagues from all over Europe who are passionate about literature. Since 2009, the federation which I have the honor of chairing has co-organized this prize. And it is always a pleasure to be part of this unique occasion, the awards ceremony, during which we have the chance to hear from authors and perhaps soon to read their works in translation. For the EUPL prize is, above all, an extraordinary springboard for being discovered by publishers keen on the European literature. Thanks to the prize, many authors have been translated and discovered by new readers. In a world facing so many challenges, reading our neighbors, our fellow Europeans, opens up to new horizons and new realities, both so close and yet so far away. It helps us develop our empathy and continues to build a shared future. The great Italian writer Umberto Eco said, "The language of Europe is translation." This famous quote highlights that Europe's true common tongue is not a single language, but a continuous process of interpreting, negotiating, and translating across its diverse cultural and linguistic landscapes. Eco viewed translation as the ultimate unifier. By preserving individual national languages while ensuring cross-border communication, translation prevents cultural homogenization and celebrates Europe's diversity. Let's then celebrate together Europe's diversity. I encourage all publishers to continue taking an interest in EUPL authors and to have their works translated. The 14 shortlisted authors whose voices and languages we are discovering this evening all have the potential to be translated, and the EUPL can then support these translations by taking the authors on tours of bookshops and book fairs. And thanks to European Union, and we just heard the words that we will have continuation of Creative Europe through Agora projects. I hope we will have that make happen. And we always have lack of grants, but we do hope this will just encourage more grants and more to help the books be translated across our countries. Let's be curious. Let's keep an ear out for new words and new authors. I wish all the authors all the very best in their writing careers. I hope you meet translators and publishers who will help your books reach a wider audience, booksellers who will recommend you to their readers, and above all, readers who will immerse themselves in your books and emerge enriched by your stories. Thank you.
Thank you. Having said that, it's time to hear some more untranslatable European novels. Of course, we all wish that these books will be translated and published across Europe as soon as humanly possible. So far, we have only fragments of them in English. Now it's time for Susanna Hast from Finland. Your book is titled Despair. I tried learning it in Finnish and I failed.
Toivottomuus.
Despair.
Beautiful word.
It depicts a fragile relationship between mother and daughter. And I wanted to ask, why did you decide to explore violence within family relationship?
Like a criminal, I should be asked, why did you do it? Because I love my mother, but I hate her even more. And this is from Julia Kristeva, of course. And this is Despair. So words matter. The title of the book, Despair, matters. It's a negative ethics to care about or to attend to that which we don't care about. And it's a poetics of harm. And the book asks us to look into despair, and I wrote from despair and towards despair, asking what it means, and discovered that it means that there is no solution, there is no resolution. And to stay with that kind of desperation means also accepting that we are not in control as human beings. We cannot solve everything. We can buy all the weapons in Europe to Europe, and that won't solve the problem of war. It won't solve war. And I'm an author or writer of silence, so I will say the things you don't want to hear, and I will write the things that I even don't want to write about. But this is possible in literature, writing against difficulty. So, yeah, literature can do this.
I don't know whether your mom is watching the transmission of tonight's ceremony. Mine is. Hello, ma'am. So let's hi to all the mothers. They were mentioned for a second time tonight. It's
I only speak the truth. So take it or leave it. Ajatukseni tiivistyvät. Se on hyvä. Tarvitsen aistejani tunnelman tihentyessä. Olenhan kantamassa vastuuni suhteesta, jonka tasapaino oli menetetty, ja siitä, mitä isäsi teki sinulle. Sehän oli minun syytäni. Muuten kai olisi voinut sanoa, ettei se ollut minun syytäni. Mutta mitä en huomaa? Tunnen itsekkyyden ja kateuden syövyttävän minua. Sanoin miehelleni, että tuntuu, kuin pahuus pyrkisi ulos minusta. Yritän pysyä poissa mielikuvittelusta, mutta väkivallan puutekin voi olla liiallista. Otan takapenkiltä armeijan vanhan kaasunaamarin ja pidän sitä kasvoillani. Katson kaasunaamaria tuuliasin läpi uudessa alussa. Tämä on tärkeä hetki. Se tuottaa seuraavan hetken.
Thank you. Now, Hélène Frédéric from France. We had housefly and rivers of white places, not houseflies, but proofreading at the very center of the story. How did you manage to transform such technical thing into something that's literary and poetic even?
Good evening. My starting point is that anything can become writing or creative material. The difficulty lies in making that material come alive. For this to happen, it must first inhabit you or disturb you deeply. In other words, there must be a sense of urgency. The text then comes alive and is in turn inhabited. It possesses its own autonomy, which allows it to join the other. This is what I attempted to do in Lézardes, or Rivers of White in English, by writing short fragments that are sufficient unto themselves, thanks to the work of language. The proofreading profession may only be the starting point of the book, an opportunity to give space to outstanding characters and outsiders, to explore side paths too often forgotten. The question of transmission is also central to the text, the question of emancipation through writing, and the contradictions that constitute us. That is my answer.
Thank you.
Je m'installe en tailleur sur le plancher, bien décidé à profiter du moment. Ressentir le mieux possible la terre trembler sous moi. Profiter de ses soubresauts. Tenter de saisir ne serait-ce qu'une infime part de ce mouvement géologique plus puissant que nous, inimaginable, caché. Ça ne dure que quelques minutes, quelques secondes, mais plus tard le mouvement perdure au bout des feuilles de la plante araignée devant moi, agitée par un léger tremblement. J'envie la plante araignée, plus sensible que nous, au mouvement souterrain, à la tectonique des plaques, au feu lointainement caché sous nos pauvres culs. Il faut dire que la plante est posée sur une petite table aux pieds fragiles. L'immobilité revenue, on trouvera des lézardes dans le solage de notre bungalow préfabriqué pour nous rappeler la force obscure à laquelle nous devrions aller puiser, mais dont nous cherchons à oublier la présence. Thank you.
Thank you. And now Arben Idrisi from Kosovo. The man who wandered and other stories. It has Grzegorz Wróblewski's painting on a cover, which is close to our heart. These stories examine trauma and war. And also the long lasting that they both have on human psyche. Is there a one single central idea that holds this collection together?
Good evening. Yes, it's the richness of our existence, the richness of being here and now. And I have to say that even if you are fighting for your country, because our experience in war is just a condition of richness.
Thank you.
Ka një mësim, mbaset e fundit, që mund të jetë I vlefshëm, për ata që duan, habiti I Zoti Kodra. Mbi këtë faqe të dhejut, e mira më e madhe për njeriu është të thotë të vërtetën, për të cilën është intimisht I bindur dhe nga e cila do të hiqte kurrë dorë. Në një mënyrë të urtë, të sofistikuar, të fisme, jo arrogante e brutale, që në fund kjo do të ishte ideale, të mos I mbetet hapësirë për të zemëruar as fanatikut, por gjithmonë duke e bërë ashtu se cili ta kuptoj saktësisht atë që është duke e thënë.
Thanks so much. Matthias Ospelt from Liechtenstein.
Thank you.
Eberhard Liechtenstein revisits a famous news item from Liechtenstein's story. What real picture of society through a small community did you want to describe in your novel?
It wasn't a part of society I wanted to describe. It was more the change in society and the atmosphere of this change brought onto the people in Liechtenstein in the 60s. Liechtenstein up to the 1950s was one of the, we can say that, poorest countries in Europe. And now look at us, we're one of the wealthiest. And the 60s was the time when this change happened. And such a change has sad sides, and it has very humorous sides. And that's where I feel comfortable between sadness and humor, and where a lot of my Liechtenstein fellow countrymen and women don't feel very comfortable. So's noch etwas? Maria Büchels Stimme klang plötzlich kalt und angriffig. Sie erhob sich vom Tisch. Kaiser war irritiert. Nein, wieso? Och, sagte die Hausherrin so vor sich hin, nichts. Sie nahm seine noch nicht leer getrunkene Kaffeetasse und trug sie zum Spülstein. Übrigens, Herr Polizist, seit vorgestern ist unser Bub nicht mehr nach Hause gekommen. Anton heißt er. Anton Büchel, 7 Jahre alt. Darf ich gerade hier eine Personenbeschreibung abgeben oder muss ich damit zu euch runter ins Städtle? Verflucht, dachte Kaiser, wie konnte er das nur vergessen? Entschuldige, Maria, das habe ich natürlich nicht vergessen. Wir sind mit Vollgas am Suchen. Seit heute früh wissen wir ja auch, dass die beiden, dass zumindest Friedrich noch, es ist nur, das eine führt zum anderen und ich wollte zuerst, ihr habt überhaupt nichts, keine Idee, keine Hinweise.
And now Elisa Schmidt. Luxembourg. General doubts about the future course of events. This is the title of your book, but I think the title of our lives recently, in many ways. Your book captures moments when people are suspended between the past and uncertain future. What draws you to both of these?
I think it's what you said. To be honest, I cannot think of an alternative to that description. Life is very much about adapting to an ever-changing environment, even more so in the current political and economic environment. So I want to show characters who, in the face of an uncertain future, become resilient, who build meaningful relationships, who try to connect to the world, and who most of all do not give up on making sense of it all. And well, even though the outcome might be uncertain, yes, I am hoping for readers who will root for them to succeed.
So again, we are between sadness and humor, I think, in a way. All right.
Good. Ich öffne die Augen unter Wasser. Der Beckengrund dämmert blau-grau zwischen den Streifen, die die Bahnen anzeigen. In den Ecken sammeln sich Erde, Steinchen, Laub. Das Ekelzeug wird täglich herausgefischt. Eisstiele aus Holz, sind darunter Tampons, einmal sogar eine tote Maus. Wenn ich das so genau sehen kann, habe ich mich an die Kälte schon fast gewöhnt. Kopf runter, Kopf über, weitet sich der Brustkorb, weil ich mich entspanne, weil jetzt mehr Luft in die Lungen passt, weil ich bin, wo ich sein soll, auch wenn es noch sehr kalt ist und widerständig. Ich atme laut aus unter Wasser, wo mich niemand hört, das mache ich oft. Ich schreie, wenn ich Lust habe, und niemand stellt dumme Fragen. Thank you.
And now it's time to ask EIBF President, Mr. Fabian Pagman, to comment on what has already happened and what will the uncertain future bring.
Wow. Those are big questions. I hope I can live up to your expectations. Ladies and gentlemen, dear authors, publishers, booksellers present here, translators, colleagues and friends, and dear Deputy Director General and Minister. Thank you very much on behalf of EIBF and the 25,000 bookshops we represent across Europe. It is truly an honor to address you here today in Warsaw, in this beautiful venue and in your beautiful city. First of all, allow me to express my sincere gratitude to the European Commission, to DG EC, and to everyone involved in making this remarkable initiative possible year after year. And the EUPL, as I'm sure you've noticed already, is much more than a literary prize. I would say it's a European promise, a promise that talent deserves visibility, that stories deserve to travel, and that authors deserve to be read beyond the borders of their own language, country, and culture. Europe is rich not because we speak with one voice, but because we speak with many voices, and literature allows us to hear them, especially the quieter voices, the emerging voices, the voices coming from smaller language areas and lesser-known literary traditions. These voices deserve a stage, and this is exactly what why the EUPL matters so deeply. But books do not travel alone. A translated book still needs to be discovered. It needs a place where someone picks it up, opens it, recommends it, talks about it, and gives it a chance. And that place is the bookshop. The bookshops are the ultimate stage for literature. And every day, across Europe, independent booksellers and bookstore chains alike create spaces where readers encounter not only the books they were looking for, but above all, the books they did not know they were looking for. And that is the magic of serendipity. And perhaps that is the greatest strength of the European bookshop. And bookselling is not an exact science. The formula that turns a debut author into a bestseller is probably more secret than the recipe of Coca-Cola. Of course, bestsellers matter. They contribute to the economic sustainability of bookshops and publishers alike. But European bookshops would lose their soul if they only offered what was already known, already proven, and already successful. Bookshops exist because readers are curious, because they want to discover, because literature should surprise us, challenge us, move us, and sometimes even unsettle us. And that broad, diverse, and multilingual offering is not a luxury. It's essential. Essential for keeping readers inspired and allowing different perspectives, emotions, and ideas to resonate across our union. And ultimately, essential for safeguarding one of Europe's core values, an open, free, and democratic society. A society that reads is a society that develops. And only through free access to books, authors, and bookshops can such a society continue to flourish. And this is exactly why EUPL matters. This is why the partnership between publishers and booksellers within this project matters as well. Because publishers and booksellers form the beating heart of Europe's literary ecosystem. And together they ensure that stories are not only written and translated, but also found, shared, and loved by readers. And tonight, obviously, we celebrate the authors at the center of this ecosystem. All of you, shortlisted as well as winners of the EUPL, remind us that Europe is not only an economic or a political project, it's also a cultural project. A project built on stories. Stories that help us understand each other better. Stories that cross borders more easily than politics sometimes can. Stories that remind us that diversity is not a weakness of Europe, but it's its greatest strength. And finally, to conclude, I would like to sincerely thank everyone who works behind the scenes to make the EUPL possible. The consortium teams, the colleagues from the Commission, the organizers, the juries, the translators, publishers, and booksellers. Your dedication turns the idea of Europe into something tangible, visible, and readable. And to the authors here tonight, thank you. Thank you for giving Europe new stories to discover. Congratulations to you all. Thank you very much.
The uncertain future of European bookshops seemed pretty certain in your words, and I like that. As far as future of EUPL, it is certain. Next edition next year will find out new 14 titles, but we are still in 2026. And Paula Erizanu from Moldova, will you please join us on stage? Here is Both Heaven and Hell, combines family memory, archives, and fiction. Why did you decide to blend all those different forms in one book?
I don't know if you can you hear me? Maybe too much. Yeah, when I set out to write this book, I thought about my great-grandmother, Claudia, who spent her life in one village but in 4 different countries. Moldova, well, the Russian Empire, Romania, the Soviet Union, and independent Moldova. And her story is not unique. That is the story of Moldova. And when I set out to write this book, I thought I'm going to try and write a kind of 100 years of solitude about my grandmother's village, kind of inspired by the village in which I spent my summers as a child and in which I actually learned about history through their oral storytelling. And I wanted to kind of structure the book so that every chapter is told by a different character, by someone, some other inhabitant in the village who's coming from a different ethnicity or a different generation. Because in Moldova, like in many other parts of the world, I guess history is still very contested. So My parents, for instance, studied at uni that it was Russia who liberated us in the Second World War, and I studied a very kind of Romanian nationalistic history at school, which didn't really mention much about the Holocaust or the pogroms, the Jewish pogroms that took place on our territory. And so I wanted to kind of make justice to both this anti-Russian imperialism fight that my grandma and great-grandma were telling me about, but also to the voices of the minorities that I didn't learn about in school. And I started from fiction. I was fictionalizing kind of family stories, but then I discovered I started reading my grandma's memoirs that she wrote during the pandemic. And in her memoirs, but also in interviews with, for instance, Jewish pogrom kind of family survivors, I discovered this kind of detail that was so amazing that I thought I can never invent something that will ring so true. And I wanted, there are so many kind of untold stories that we have in Moldova. And so I thought it's going to be more powerful to actually blend the instruments of fiction and nonfiction.
Right on. It seems to be a leitmotif of today's evening. Mothers, grandmothers, and on the other
Trauma.
hand, insects.
Trauma,
Houseflies,
memory.
spiders, and butterfly collectors that connect them both. All right, let's hear a part of your novel.
Tot atunci au început să se dea telenovele la TV. Lumea fugea acasă de la câmp, își pierdea papucii pe drum, prin ogradă, doar să reușească să îi vadă pe José Armando și pe Mariana în casele lor mari, frumoase și colorate, nemai văzute pe aici. Lacrimile curgeau pe obraj, ochii rămâneau țintuiți în ecran, însă gândurile, cine știe unde zburau. Părinții au început, pentru prima dată, să le spună și ei copiilor că îi iubesc. S-a schimbat alfabetul, s-au deschis granițele. Pentru prima dată după al doilea război mondial, timp de 2 zile, oamenii au putut trece frontiera de pe Prut fără acte. S-au îmbrățișat, au plâns, au aruncat flori pe râu de pe ambele maluri. Am devenit țară independentă. A căzut imperiul.
Vladimir Vujovic from Montenegro. Free Kicks. This is a book that deals with immigration and exile. My question is, what kind of reading experience did you want to create for your readers?
I think I wanted to create an experience of unease. So in one of the stories there is this flying carpet, but it's not the kind of funny Aladdin style flying carpet, but something, I believe, much darker and something that creates the feeling of constantly not touching the steady ground. And I come from the Balkans. It's the region which throughout history have known migration not as a crisis or some temporary event, but as an, I would say, permanent condition, almost like a fate. So I wanted to say something about that. U njegovom sećanju, očito lažnom, susedno selo je bilo isto kao njegovo, a sada se ovo zgarište protezalo na površini mnogo većoj od one koje je zauzimalo selo iz kojeg je on poticao. Tepih je nastavio da se spušta i sada je već mogao da vidi pojedinačne stubiće sivog dima na raznim mestima u beskrajnom crnilu i dok se tepih i dalje spuštao, oprezno, ali neumoljivo, kretali su se ka centru koji je gore otvorenim plamenom bez dima, osjetio je toplotu tog srca tame i bio je zahvalan na njoj. Osjećao je na licu i promrzlim šakama i stopalima, ali onda je postala prejaka. Ta užarenost koja je sijala sama za sebe i nije osvetljavala ništa oko sebe, nikakve obrise kuća, štala, drveća, staza ili ljudi nije mogao da prepozna. Sve je bilo crno i duboko nepregledno, osim centralnog ognja koji je postao toliko jak, ali tepih je nastavio i onda je on morao da zatvori oči. Thank you.
Ivan Shopov from North Macedonia. Centrifuga reimagines Zen stories through parody, fragmentation and philosophical play. What drew you to this approach, and how does the Centrifuga connect all the pieces?
It may sound strange, but I decided to write parodies of these traditional Zen stories precisely because I love them. As in real life, we feel free to make some more spicy jokes only with those people that we feel really close to us. I do the same with the texts.
Right on.
And I believe that the cultural interference enriches our own culture, and that's why I use those stories as some kind of base for my own stories. And Centrifuga is divided into 3 parts with equal number of stories, and the heart of the book are these Zen parodies, and the axis which around the other stories are spinning with some kind of dizzying speed. They are written in different style on different themes and topics, but are pretty much complementary with the Zen stories. I also write minimalism because I believe that the microfiction is underestimated and underrepresented genre, and I would like to believe that this writing is some kind of rebellious act.
Right. I'm all for it. I think that EUPL is all about cultural interference. That's a phrase that should stay with us, I think.
Приказни. Навечер во мојата населба соседите се собираат во дворовите и на клупите во парковите. Раскажуваат страшни приказни за опасен стаорец што во најмирните ноќни часови тајно ја напаѓа населбата. Велат дека има челични заби и сребрени боцки на грбот како еж. Велат дека навечер со факел во устата предводи глутница мачки со вжарено накострешено крзно и заедно подметнуваат пожари. Велат дека има тризабец на опашката и со него става отров во зимниците што луѓето ги чуваат во визбите. Велат дека е голем колку куче, но успева да се провлече незабележан, затоа што не прави никаков шум. Велат дека има смарагдни очи и може да ослепи некого со поглед, само ако посака. И јас често присуствувам на таквите собери. Уживам слушајќи ги страшните приказни, вешто сплетени од моите соседи. Не кажувам дека страшниот стаорец всушност е обично мало безпомошно глувче фатено во стапицата во мојот подрум. Зошто да се лишам од толку убави приказни? Thank you very much.
Franz Wachtmeister from Sweden. Lost Ground takes place in Tokyo, not a part of European Union, but how does this city define the atmosphere of your novel?
I won't mention me like that. It's the vastness of the city, the millions and millions of people, and the thousands and thousands of the buildings that allow for a very acute sense of solitude, but also the coexistence of different words, which means that the characters travels in between, and as the exterior word sort of defines the role and the identity, the character is allowed the character to play. He has different statuses depending on where he goes, where he lives, and so he's so many identities in one body. Because just thanks to this huge the hugeness of the Tokyo city.
Right on. Well, once they built metro system in Warsaw, there were some brave people who labeled Warsaw the Tokyo of Europe, but I don't think it's possible by any.
I did not notice that, but okay.
I just made it up. All right, let's hear a part of the book.
Vid Shibuya Station trycktes jag våldsamt in i vagnen. Så som stundande helgledigheterna var det lika trångt som vanligt. Skolorna hade fortfarande öppet och flera skolflickor i uniform stod utspridda i vagnen. 2 av dem intill mig med sina ännu ej utslagna kroppar tätt tryckta mot mig. Det var outhärdligt. Tunnelbanevagnen var full av reklam. Fram tills igår hade de annonserat om en förestående utställning med Buddha-skulpturer, vilket hade varit trevligt att titta på under pendlingstimmarna. Men under natten hade skyltningen ersatts med reklam för hårborttagning. Den nya aktören förde en aggressiv kampanj för sin helkroppsbehandling och besudlade både taket och väggarna med affischer på en androidliknande modell av obestämbar etnicitet och ben som var absolut hårfria. En ny kropp för en ny tid. Skolflickorna beundrade henne hemfört. Thank you.
Thank you. Some of the most important figures that joined us today have been sitting here nameless and unnamed, but not quiet because they've laughed at my questionable jokes, and by that I know that they're with us. The jury of the EUPL, Barbara Andrelis from Slovenia, Akos Brunner from Hungary, Alexandra Harvanova from Slovakia, Sinead McKay from Ireland, Bernard Moore from Norway, Kostas Patarakis from Greece, and the president of this well-read company, Carmen Posadas from Spain. And Madam President, this is the moment. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Please join me on stage. And first you will announce the first special mention of UPL 2026. Yes, sure. Is it on? It should be. It's not on. Oops, sorry.
Okay, can you hear me now? Good evening. Okay, so it's going to be Rivers of White by Hélène Friedrich.
Come on!
Not prepared. It's really a surprise. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Really, I think everyone here deserves the prize. So a prize, a mention or a prize or the prize. Thank you for this invitation. Thank you. I'm proud to belong to this community. So this is really important for me. And I thank EUPL. I want to thank SGDL, la Société des gens de lettres, and my publisher for the constant support. So that's it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And now the second special mention of EUPL 2026.
Hello, can you hear me again? Yes? Okay, so it's going to be Free Kicks by Vladimir Vuhorovics.
Come on!
I don't have the speech. I didn't expect it, so thank you. It's an honor. Thank you so much.
And now for the main prize, I would like to ask the Minister of Culture of the Republic of Poland to join us on the stage, and Deputy General as well. Madam President, we are ready to hear the final verdict.
Our winner tonight is the Maribor Hypnosis by Dora Kapralova.
Okay, now I don't want to repeat that I'm not prepared for the speech. So thank you very much. What I should say, I think that hypnotizer Illusionis Svengali from my book has unfortunately other work now with Putin and other dictators. Otherwise, he would be here with me and he would be so touched as I am touched. Thank you very much and thank you for organizing this kind of events, and have a nice evening and have a good drink.
And please do stay with us on stage, because I would like to ask all the remaining authors to join us on stage for a family photo. Dora, stay with us on stage. And the jury as well, please.